Welcome to the Reese Report. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and we are back with our NFL picks for week 3. But you see, we have something special today. I'm going to bring on someone who might be emotionally hurt right now. He seems to be having a really rough time. So I decided to bring him on so he could air his grievances and answer a very important question for me. Now, he might be a little delayed because we have to call him via satellite, So we have to give him some time. But when he comes on here, we're gonna ask him, what is going on? And when he comes on, uh, Gil and Jose can sort of ask him some questions as well. Oh, look who it is! Is he there? I think I see somebody. Who's that? Oh, there he is. It's Tony Barbosa.
What's happening,
Yes,
boys?
we brought him on as a guest today to start our show. And I have a very simple question for Mr. Tony Barbosa. What is wrong with the team that's hat you wear right now? And specifically, what's wrong with your quarterback who has 4 interceptions and 5 fumbles in 2 games?
Buddy, I'll tell you what the reason is. It's the head coach. That's who.
I can
That's
agree
who I
with
put
that.
the blame on. When you don't use Jonathan Taylor, that's what happens. You only use them. What do you use them? 9 times,
9
something
times
like that.
last game. Yeah.
Last game. That's for. You didn't do anything. You have to play your best player. That's your best player. You take the ball out of your best player, you're not going to win.
Well, it sounded like the coach was very happy with Matt Ryan despite all the turnovers. So Frank might want to be careful. He might not have a job soon.
I don't. Yeah, if he keeps going the way it is, he's too happy with letting the quarterback throw the ball, especially with Jonathan Taylor. He's probably the best or the second best running back in the league. You got to use him. You got to use him.
So you don't blame Matt Ryan for this. You blame the coach.
Well, I blame more the coach.
Yeah.
Because if you give the ball more to Jonathan Taylor, you can use more Matt Ryan more effectively than he's been using. Like he threw, I believe he attempted 30 something throws last week, and then the week before 50. That's way too much, if you ask me.
Yeah, especially for someone who's turnover prone like him. I mean, but 9 turnovers in 2 games. I mean, you can't win. It doesn't matter who the coach is, Tony.
Plus, you're missing your best receiver, so
yes.
You're missing key pieces.
Yeah.
But they got to run the ball more, and I agree with that. I think you need to use your best player.
Well, Jose pointed out the receivers, but I'll say this: Tom Brady has no receivers, and Green Bay has no receivers, and they're finding ways to win. So I'll tell you what, they got to find a way to win. Although they got Kansas City this week, so I don't envy you watching that destruction that's going to happen this week. I hope I'm not giving away my pick there, but. Well, Mr. Barbosa, thank you for coming on to talk about your team.
Boys.
Hopefully, hopefully we have a better thing to talk about next time.
Well, I don't know. We'll see next week.
I will leave you with this. Will Carson Wentz get revenge on his old team this week?
No. The Eagles? No way, man. The Eagles are way too good, buddy.
All right.
That division, the Eagles are going to run away with that division.
Yeah, it looks like that. But our friend Gil over there picked the Cowboys. He's going to have to rely on Mr. Rush now. Cooper Rush. So we'll see what happens with that.
He looked good. He looked good last week.
He did. He fooled us all last week, didn't he? So this is the NFL, guys. You never know what's going to happen.
Buddy.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
That's right. And then my team has to go back to Jimmy G. So believe me, I'm no happier than you, Tony, when I got to go watch Jimmy G again for the next 16 weeks. Okay, so I'm not happy either.
Well, if you guys get wins, it's all that matters.
Yes. Well, we'll talk about that as Jose's already shaking his head. But we'll talk about the porn star. Thank you, Tony. We will see you on the wrestling show, but thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem, boys. Later.
All right. Later. And that was our special guest, Tony Barbosa. We got a nice little question there for him. So we know what's bothering him, and we'll get to what's bothering us after our picks. But let's get to our picks first. The Thursday night, as the Pittsburgh Steelers, with a god-awful quarterback named Mitchell Trubisky, is facing the Cleveland Browns, who have just as bad a quarterback named Jacoby Brissett. Good luck picking this one. I'll start with Jose. Who do you like in this one?
I like the Browns in this one. I just think they're gonna run the ball. They've been running the ball very well. Last week they should have won that game. There's no way you should lose to the Jets with a minute and 30 seconds left. They should have won that game clearly. I think they'll learn their lesson. They'll just play their game, which is run the football with the two-headed monster with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb over there. And I don't see the Steelers with TJ Watt are weak on defense. They didn't get any pressure on the quarterback last week. So I like the Browns in this one.
Gil.
Yeah, this game is going to be a running game. I think the both quarterbacks on both sides are horrible. I agree with Jose. I guess Hunt and Chubbs would win the running game, so I'm going to go with Cleveland. Even though them losing to the Jets just really looks really bad on them too, because they should have ran all over the Jets. And Joe Flacco did the Flacco. So
Yeah, he did.
So, but I think it was just a fluke, anyways. But
Mhm.
that's why I'm going to take the Browns. They should bounce back.
Both quarterbacks are terrible. Both defenses are supposed to be decent. So though I'm starting to wonder about the Browns now that Jadeveon Clowney is out. They give up a lot of points to bad teams like Cleveland, Carolina, and the Jets have two of the worst offenses in the league. They got 26 points and 31 points. I'm going to take Pittsburgh here. I watched Pittsburgh go to Cincinnati and turn over Joe Burrow 4 times, and I know that was a lot of J.J. Watt. But if you think that Jacoby Brissett's going to have any success against that defense, with or without Watt, I don't think so. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh for the upset here. Mr. Malfera, who everyone wants his picks, everyone wants to know what his picks are. He's taking the Browns in this one, and he wants to point out that he was right about the Jets last week. That's his big claim to fame. Oh, I was right about the Jets beating Cleveland with a minute 35 left and an onside kick. So now we go to Baltimore at New England. We have Baltimore, who might have one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. They blew a 21-point lead to the Miami Dolphins. They go to New England to play a team that has no identity, is lost, and has an average quarterback with a coach that needs his GOAT back. So who do we have here? I'll start with Gil. Who do you got in this one?
I got Baltimore. Baltimore last week played a solid hot Miami team as well, a running good team. Patriots will not have the offense to keep up with Baltimore. Patriots are still trying to find themselves. They beat the Steelers, but the Steelers are not that great. But I just think Baltimore offensively will outmatch the New England Patriots.
I'm going to add nothing to that because that's exactly what I was going to say. I agree with Gil, so I'm taking Baltimore. Jose?
Yeah, I agree. I take Baltimore too. I think they have more offensive weapons, and I think they'll outscore the Patriots.
To what Gil likes to call, by the way, Anthony Malfera also has the Ravens, so we're all on the Ravens there. To what Gil calls, as we have every week, the ugly bowl, the Houston Texans go to Chicago to take on the Bears. Let me just see Gil's face when I mention that game. It's not pretty, right, Gil?
No.
Well, Gil, I don't have anything to say about either one of these two teams, so you just pick. I don't know, pick one, flip a coin.
I really don't do this much, but I'm gonna go with the Bears. I just think the Bears defense will hold Houston. I'm not really a big Miles fan or whatever the hell his name is.
David Mills, yes.
Fields got ripped apart by the media because apparently he was blaming the fans not being
supportive enough.
So he's already on the fans' bad side. So who knows what's going on there? Green Bay just kicked them in the mouth last week. But Houston's probably the perfect team for them to play to try to bounce back.
Jose?
Tricky game here, but I'm gonna go with Houston. I think the Texans, they've been playing well. They played well. They're tied to the Colts their first game of the season. They played a good Broncos team last week. They held them to a field goal win.
Are we sure the Broncos are good, Jose? Are we sure about that?
I think that they'll take time to to gel with each other because this is a new coach and the new quarterback and stuff like that. But they should have been already 2-0. Honest to
Yeah.
be honest with you, they should have been 2-0. They made some stupid mistakes against the Seahawks, fumbling the ball. But I think
Okay.
I like Texans in this one.
Okay. I think Fields is more mad at his coach. They hired this guy Eberflus, and they said they were gonna have a more open offense. But if you look at Justin Fields, he's thrown the ball like 10 times a game in this first 2 games. They've given the ball to Montgomery, and they've done everything they can to not let Fields throw the ball. Even down last week, if Gil was probably seeing this, they're down and they're just running all day with Montgomery. They didn't even try to throw the ball to come back. Even on the 1 yard line, they're not throwing the ball. So Fields is probably mad at his coach. I'll take the Bears here because the forecast is for rain, and we saw what happened to the 49ers when they went there with rain. So I think the Bears win it just because of the weather and the way their defense plays in that weather. To a game that I think is going to be a lot more interesting than people think, as the Buffalo Bills go to Miami to take on, my God, Tua, 468 and 6 touchdowns. If you had, no one had him in the fantasy, but I had Tyreek Hill, so that was fun to watch. Buffalo looks like the best team in the NFL right now, and the MVP looks like Josh Allen. But boy, Tua's right there with him. I mean, my goodness. So, Gil, who do you have in this one? The Bills are a 5.5-point favorite, but I'm not so sure they should be.
Yeah, well, this one's going to be on whose defense plays better. It's going to be a shotgun. It's which defense can stop the offense more. Bills look really solid. Miami did a great comeback last week. Looked a little shaky. Buffalo does not look like they're stoppable right now. They're cruising through their games. I'm gonna say Buffalo's gonna run into 2 bad games. This is one, and if they do win this game, week 6, they'll run into the Chiefs. So I think that's their identity games. But I think this is the Miami's identity game to show that they're for real. So at home, I think the Dolphins are gonna put Buffalo into reality again.
Jose.
I don't think so. I just think the Bills are clicking on all cylinders right now. I just think the way the Dolphins defense played last week, if they play like that against the Bills, they'll get smoked and they'll have no chance to come back because the Bills defense is too good for them to come back like that. So I'm taking the Bills. I just think they're on a high right now. Stephon Diggs is probably like the best wide receiver right now. Nobody's gonna stop the guy right now, and they'll supposedly get Gabe Davis back this week too. So I like the Bills in this one.
Okay, this is a way tougher game than I think. By the way, I did forget Mr. Malfer's pick. He has the Bears in the prior game. I think the Bills there were 2 games I looked at that the Bills could lose. One was at Baltimore, which is next week, and the other one was at Chiefs. Now, I watched the Bills play last year in the AFC Championship game, and they could not cover Tyreek Hill. Now they have Tyreek Hill and Mr. Waddle. I think Miami wins this game because the Bills cannot cover their receivers in a shootout. This will be a very high-scoring game. Miami wins it at the end because they can't cover Waddle and Tyreek Hill. That's what I think is going to happen. It could easily be 42-38 like last week. It could be that kind of game.
It'll be a field goal. Goal. Ray Finkel.
Yeah, I know the Bills destroyed Miami last year in 2 games, and I mean destroyed them. But I think this is a different team with both Tyreek Hill and Waddle. I think Tua's improved. I like Mostert in their back in the running game. So I think this will be competitive. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a shootout, and it'll come down to a field goal at the end. I've watched Josh Allen lose these kind of games to Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. I see no reason why Miami can't win at home against the Bills in a rivalry game. Anthony also has the Bills. Now we go to Jacksonville at the Chargers. We have some question marks with Herbert breaking his ribs, with Keenan Allen. Jacksonville has actually looked pretty decent in 2 games, shutting out the Colts and making a battle with Washington. There's a lot of question marks here, but I'm going to assume that Herbert will be okay. He looked good throwing the ball right after the injury. So I'll take the Chargers over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jose, who do you got?
Chargers as well.
And Gil?
Same thing.
Okay, I didn't want to waste too much time on the game. I just want to talk about the injuries. Now we go to what I feel is the game of the week. The very overrated MVP and Super Bowl pick, Denver Broncos of Gil Santos, are home to our San Francisco 49ers.
Don't even talk about Super Bowl MVP picks because your pick was.
My quarterback got hurt, so nobody can say nothing. And he got hurt.
Even if he wasn't hurt, he was.
We don't know. He played a game. He played a game and a quarter, so we don't know.
And he did in that first game, and then
he looked good in the second game, and then he got hurt. So I'm not going to talk about a guy who got hurt. I'm not going to laugh on the sideline like Jimmy G did after the guy got hurt. I'm not going to celebrate like the rest of the San Francisco teammates after he came on the field and got some touchdowns. I'm not going to bury the kid like everybody else wants to. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is talk about this game, and I know what I get in Jimmy G. I don't know what I have in Trey Lance yet. I know what I have in Jimmy G. And because Jimmy G's in this game, going to Denver in the altitude and facing Gil's MVP team that needs to have a big game, I'm going to take the Broncos because Jimmy G's the quarterback, and he's facing Russell Wilson, a quarterback he never beats. That's my pick. Now we'll go to Gil because we already know where Jose is going.
You guys are you're whatever, man.
Gil, is your MVP and Super Bowl team going to show up this year?
This team is just ready to click. When this Denver Bronco team clicks, watch out. Just give them another week or two, and when they start gelling, this team's going to be very dangerous. I'm going to stick by what I said. And San Fran right now, Jimmy G's going to play. I know he played pretty well last week, but I don't think I got to see it for myself. I'm going to take the Broncos.
Jimmy G got swept by a bad Seattle team here, so I have utmost confidence that Denver wins this game. Okay, Jose, just tell us you're picking San Fran. Go ahead.
No, you don't have to tell me.
And why? Is Kittle back?
Yeah, Kittle's playing better defense than the Broncos. That's all you got to say. As long as they keep to the game plan, run the ball, short passes, they'll be fine. I don't.
How many turnovers for Jimmy G?
I probably have one pick like he normally does. So
okay.
As long as they can keep it in a close game, they'll be fine. I think they can squeak out a field goal winner at the end or something like that. I think the Broncos haven't been great at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Maybe they'll explode this game or whatever it is. They have a good team to do that, but they have a lot of injuries too. The Judy's questionable. Surtain is also questionable. So if they can't play, those are two big losses right there too. So I like the Niners in this one. And for your question, for your back to your Jimmy G shit. Listen, there's no problem with why can't the team celebrate after scoring a touchdown? Because
I didn't see that support for Lance. That's all I know.
Did he score a touchdown for them?
They didn't make him a captain, and then they're laughing at him. The guy's laughing when throwing the ball when the guy's laying on the field with his ankle in a sling. And then the first time he does anything, Jimmy G scores that touchdown, and they jump like it's the Super Bowl. I think I know who they like in that locker room, and it's Jimmy G, not the kid.
There's nothing wrong with it. I already told you. We already talked about this. But
all right, but I don't. Just for Jose, I don't blame you for taking San Fran. They absolutely can win that game. I haven't been impressed with Denver, but this is one of those history things with Seattle. Russell Wilson's owned the 49ers. He knows how to play against them, and especially against Jimmy G. That's kind of why I'm making this pick more than anything else. To our next game, and I tried to tell people, Kirk Cousins will always tease you. When he plays a nothing game at 4:00, he'll look like a Super Bowl quarterback. He'll look like a Pro Bowler. Then he goes to prime time when everyone's watching and it's a big game. And you know what he does? He throws 3 red zone picks and makes Jalen Hurts look like a Super Bowl quarterback. Garbage Kirk Cousins, back at it again. Well, he gets to play Jared Goff and the Lions at home, and knowing him, he'll just show up for this game now. Gil, good luck predicting Cousins. I know you and I are not fans, and Jose kind of likes him. which Kirk Cousins shows up this time.
Well, sure, not MVP like we were saying at hockey there. Who
Yeah.
was it, Mr. Malfair and
Yeah.
Steven
How stupid does he look
Cousin,
now?
they're gonna put money on Cousins. Well, I told Anthony, remember what I'm gonna say, Cousins gonna choke. And Cousins just did it last week very hard. They are playing the Lions. The Lions are exciting to watch. I just think the Vikings defense will probably hold them better. I think the Vikings bounce back, and I think they'll win. I don't like neither of these teams, just to be on the record.
Mhm.
But the Lions are actually pretty fun to watch. I'm actually enjoying watching the Lions, but their defense is just not there.
Philly knew exactly what Cousins was going to do. He was going to throw the ball to Justin Jefferson. They doubled Justin Jefferson. He never looked at Adam Thielen, and it led to a bunch of picks. This is who he is. Jose, who do you got?
Vikings.
Yeah, I
In the
got the Vikings because Detroit doesn't win on the road. That's all. They just don't win on the road at all. Their record is like 5-50 in the last 5 years or something. So I'm going to take the Vikings. Malfera, who thinks Kirk Cousins could win MVP, you guessed it, he took the Vikings.
Kirk Cousins, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, going to win an MVP. All right. Now to a game that one team really needs to win. New Orleans, who decided to pump up Tom Brady last week by getting into a fight, and then he just put it right in their ass. They're now 1-1, luckily, because they beat Atlanta last second. They go to Carolina to face the 0-2 Panthers, who have the worst offense in the league. Baker Mayfield makes me look worse and worse every single week, and I'm starting to lose faith. Jose, who do you have? This is an ugly game. Who do you have in this game?
I like the Saints. I think their defense kept them in the game against the Bucks last week until the fourth quarter. I know James Winston is hurt with those back and stuff like that, but I think they have their team to beat Carolina. Carolina looks like, I don't know. I don't know what they look like. They have weapons too. Like, I just don't see, like, Christian McCaffrey. They should use him a little bit more. I think that coach is going to be the first one fired, to tell you the truth.
Yep. Him or Vrabel.
I like New Orleans in this one.
Gil, good luck.
Yeah, I think they'll use Tyson Hill a little bit more if Winston can't really go. Tyson Hill has been impressive when he's been called on. Carolina looks like they don't have an identity yet. They might even go back to Sam Darnold. Who knows? Going at this point right now. But if Carolina doesn't win this week, they look bad. But I agree with Jose. The Saints' defense is still there. They're a great defense. So I think the Saints will stop Baker.
Yeah, I was torn on this one because I picked Carolina to be a wild card as a surprise. They have to win this game. Baker's job's on the line to me. Like, he has to show up in this game against the quarterback that has broken back. And this is a decent defense. He's got to show up. Like, they've had close games that they could have won, and Baker's not been good in any of them. McCaffrey was good last week. He rushed for over 100 yards, but Baker was terrible. He has to show up in this game and win this game, or he could lose his job. They might go back to Darnold because he's healthy, I believe, next week. So this is a game for Baker's career. So I'll take Carolina, hoping that Baker, snaps out of it, wins this game, and makes them 1-2 in a division that's going to be won by Tampa Bay. I mean, that's the GOAT's not going anywhere, and he even beat his nemesis last week. So I got New Orleans. I got Carolina. Anthony also has New Orleans in this one. To a game we've talked about a little bit already, the red hot Kansas City Chiefs, who are led by a man we should never not believe in. We all picked Kansas City to be out of the playoffs, and Patrick Mahomes next to Josh Allen is looking like MVP right now. They're taking on the hapless and disastrous Indianapolis Colts in their home opener. I'm not going to waste any time on this. I got Kansas City. Gil?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. After watching Matt Ryan last week, that was horrible. Indies doing that to themselves, though. They take a genius. You lost Wentz. You had Phillip Rivers. They're going for the old quarterbacks. Why? I don't know. They got to get someone young in there to help Taylor and revamp a new offense on that team. Their defense is not bad, but they're not going to be even close to stopping the Chiefs.
No, their only chance is if they run the ball early, like 30 times with Taylor and get the lead. If they go down, that game's over. Jose?
I'm gonna disagree with. I think this is the game that Indy comes up big. I think they're gonna get their Leonard back, which is their linebacker, which is our linebacker. So he's a big player. Buckner's coming back on defense.
Any receivers coming back?
Yeah, supposedly Pittman's supposed to play, and Campbell as well. So they're supposed to get their weapons back, and I think they'll run the ball a little bit more this game. I think they learned their lessons from the other previous games. I think Kansas City's weak on the run game, so I like Indy to get their first win of the season in this one.
Okay. To the revenge game.
So you're telling me Indy's win, you're telling me it's going to be against KC?
Yeah. What's the problem? They have the team to beat them.
Just making sure I heard that right. Okay.
I mean, it's their home opener, so I can see an argument for picking them to be a little pumped up at home because they started 2 games on the road. And Kansas City maybe is a little vulnerable after sneaking by the Chargers and sneaking by the Raiders. I can see that, but man, the turnovers, you turn it over against the Chiefs, you're gonna get pumped. So if there's turnovers in that game, it's over for Indy. So you got 5 fumbles and 4 interceptions for Matt Ryan. If that happens, they're going to lose.
If they run the ball, then don't have to throw 50.
Well, hey, Frank Reich, not more than 9 rushes, please, for Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay. That's why the coach has got to smarten up and have a different game plan.
I would assume he would, but I'll take the Chiefs. Anthony also has the Chiefs. To the revenge game. The Philadelphia Eagles go to Washington to take on their old quarterback, Carson Wentz. The Eagles have looked great. I picked them to win the division, and you can see why. Washington has a lot of weapons. Their defense is not very good. Carson Wentz is turnover prone, but when he does actually throw the ball decent, he can find some guys and score some points. I mean, they have some good weapons in Washington, but they can't defend. So this is a tough one to pick, but it is a revenge game. Wentz is going to be pumped up. Gil, who do you got in this one?
I'm going to take the Eagles. Yeah, I just think they're on all cylinders, and you know how I feel about Washington, right? So,
I'm the Commanders.
I'm going to take the Eagles.
Jose.
Fly, Eagles, fly. All I got to say.
I'm going to play a hunch here and assume that Carson Wentz is going to be really fired up and want to get revenge on his old team. I like their weapons, and I will take an upset here.
Have them on your fantasy team. That's why you like them.
I do like their weapons because they're on my fantasy team. But if you look at the weapons they have, like they got 3 good wide receivers, they got a great tight end.
Lions last week, and you're telling me they're gonna fucking beat the Eagles?
Yeah, I think they can beat the Eagles at home. Absolutely.
Right.
Yes, I think it's possible. It's a division game. They're playing at home. Carson Wentz wants to beat his old team. I think it's very possible. It can happen. The Eagles have beaten the Lions and they beat the Vikings. It's not like they've beaten world beaters either. So let's not relax with the Eagles. We'll see what happens. I'm betting a revenge game here. That's what I'm betting on. Wentz getting revenge. That's it. There's no major wager here. There's no lock, nothing like that. Just betting a hunch. So I'll take Washington. Anthony has the Eagles as well. To a team that no one thought would be 0-2, the Cincinnati Bengals, who still have the worst offensive line in football. The Titans are right there with them. But they go to the Jets to take on Joe Flacco, who managed to beat the Browns somehow last week. Good luck again picking this one. Gil?
Well, after watching last week, the Bengals need to snap out of it. They have to win this game.
Yep.
They don't win this game, I think their season's in trouble. Their season might even be over.
Right.
So I'm gonna, you know what? The Jets didn't play bad. Like they didn't play bad. They look better than last year, but the Bengals have to win this game. So I have to pick the Bengals. I can't even try to upset because they have to win this game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick the Bengals.
Yeah.
It's a must win, and they have to, and their offensive line they got to fix that up a little bit. because Burrow by the end of the season, if he keeps going like that, he's gonna get freaking injured. So I like Cincinnati in this one.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp said on Undisputed earlier this week that Joe Burrow is going to become Andrew Luck if they don't protect him soon, and he's right. That's what he's going to become. But I will take the Bengals in this game for the exact reasons that Jose and Gil said. They have to win this game, and they will be ready to beat the Jets. So I got Cincinnati. Mr. Malfera, who's happy about the Jets, picked the Jets. So good luck to him. To the Las Vegas Raiders, who tied with the Tennessee Titans, are the two, well, maybe the Colts are there too. The most disappointing teams in the NFL are facing each other. Vegas, who blew a 20-point lead to the Cards last week, and the Titans, who just got destroyed by the Bills and beat by the Giants at home. Two ugly teams that are not playing well, with questionable coaching on both sides. Gil, again, good luck. What do you got?
It's the battle of the 0-2s.
Mm,
That everybody probably thought they would have a better record.
yep.
So Adams goes there. Everybody puts a hype. And all I saw was every team's double teaming him and Carr's forcing the ball to him with other wide receivers open.
Correct.
So I think they're playing that wrong. I think that's a problem.
Yep.
If you have Adams, even though he's not getting the numbers, but if you can attract defense to double team him and other guys are open, then go to the open guy.
Yep.
They're forcing it. I don't see nothing really special about Vegas. So I'm gonna go Tennessee at home. I have faith in Henry, so I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Jose.
I like Vegas in this one. I think their last game they should have won that game against the Cards, but those couple letdowns at the end. Like you guys saying, he should start spreading the ball more. I think if they start spreading the ball more, they'll be more dangerous offensively. But overall, I just think Tennessee with Tannehill as quarterback, I don't see them going anywhere. I think they should start putting in the rookie Willis. He came in last week against the Bills when they were getting smashed, but I think he gives them a dynamic on the offense, like because he's a run pass option quarterback type of thing. But I like Las Vegas in this one.
I would like to thank Jose for finally agreeing with me on Tana downhill, because last year I told you how garbage this guy was. And Jose, to his credit, he's a nice guy. He wants to defend quarterbacks. This guy's terrible. And he's proven to be even worse now that he took a lot of his receivers away. I believe in Henry. I don't believe in Tannehill. Carr, I think, can turn it around. He made the playoffs last year. I think he'll figure it out. I don't believe in Tannehill at all. Their defense in Tennessee is brutal. Stephon Diggs just threw a party on them last week. They've got no secondary. So I think Adams is going to have a big day. And if Renfro's healthy, he'll have a big day. And Vegas wins this one. I think that Vrabel's in trouble. Like, they got to figure something out, because you can't have Henry rush for 14 yards and have Tannehill throw 2 picks. You're not going to win any games. So they got to figure that out. They don't have a lot of weapons there. Woods has been a major disappointment. And they're relying on rookies as their leading receivers. So they got a lot of trouble in Tennessee. I got Vegas until they figure out how to use Henry properly. Anthony, as you can guess, has his team, the Titans. So there you go. To the next ugly bowl that no one wants to pick, Atlanta goes to Seattle. Atlanta's looked good in a couple of games this year. They've lost both, but they've looked good. They take on Seattle, who looked good in one game, got smashed in another game. Jose, what do you got in this one?
This one's hard to. Atlanta's looked good in both of their games, but they've come up short. Seattle's more of a home team with the crowd and stuff like that. This game's hard to pick, but I just think Atlanta has more offensive weapons, and they'll probably steal a couple of.
Not Kyle Pitts.
It's okay. Don't worry about Kyle Pitts. They have other London. They have Patterson. They have lots of other weapons than Kyle Pitts. But don't worry. Kyle Pitts will get his touches. He'll do his thing. So I like Atlanta in this one.
Yo.
Very ugly for me to pick. I don't even know who to pick. As we're talking, I'm still trying to think who I'm gonna pick, and I'm just gonna go Mariota. So I'm gonna go Falcons.
Yeah, I didn't want to pick this game, but I'll take the home team. I saw them beat Denver, so maybe they can beat Atlanta if they can beat Denver. I'll take Seattle. Anthony has the Falcons because he still likes Mariota from his Tennessee days. To the next game, this will be a great game. The next three games should be good. We got the Rams at the Cardinals. Matthew Stafford has been brutal. He's got 4 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. It looks like he misses Odell Beckham. They were lucky to beat Atlanta last week after blowing a 28-3 lead. Having said that, I'm not sure about the Cardinals either. They did come back to win last week, but they looked awful for about 7 quarters until that comeback in the fourth quarter. I watched the Rams kill this team last year in the playoffs, so I'm going to take the Rams. Jose.
Rams as well. I think the Cardinals offensively, I don't know, James Conner hasn't been running the ball as well as last year, so that's one less option there too. No Hopkins, they don't have like that big threat on the wideout. So I think the Rams will take this one.
Gil.
I'm going Rams. I know they snuck one out. They won that game with Atlanta to Jose's Cooper Cup there. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams.
And Malfera takes the Rams as well. To the Packers. That's right. Gil's boys. They go to Tampa Bay to take on the GOAT. Yes, it's Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. But you see, this is a little different. This is the no receiver game. You see, we have Aaron Rodgers who has nobody to throw to against Tom Brady who has nobody to throw to because Mike Evans is out and we have Julio Jones is out and Godwin's out. So we're going to have Russell Gage and Beasley off the scrap heap against Gil's receivers who we don't even know their names. Dobbs and Cobb and Taylor and I don't know who else is there. So I'm going to start with Gil. I know you love your team, but this has got to be a tough game to pick.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be tough, but
Tampa Bay's defense is rolling.
Yeah, and the Packers defense looked better last week.
Against the Bears.
Don't talk because your 49ers defense is very solid and the Bears beat them. Okay, so let's not start. But I'm even surprised Jose's not. You don't have nothing to say, Jose? You want to put a comment in that one?
It's okay. Worry about your Vikings. Worry about the Vikings when you get blown out by the
Kirk Cousins blow you out, huh? Yeah. Worry about that.
Worry about that. You're lucky you're in the shit division. That's what it is.
Well, that's not my fault, Jose. I didn't create the divisions, okay?
I know.
I can tell this is tough for Gil.
Based off what you said, you're right. I think both quarterbacks are gonna have a tough time, and then I think it's tied here, but I'm gonna go with the Packers based off. I just think, but Fournette's good too. But I don't know. I just think Aaron Jones, he did everything last week for the Packers. He ran, he threw, he caught. So I think he's younger, quicker than Fournette. I'm gonna go just based off that.
Jose.
Tough game.
Really tough.
Both defenses played good last week. I'm going to go with Green Bay as well. And I'll tell you why. This happened last year, the same thing. And then they went in week 3 and they went to play the Niners and they bet the Niners in San Francisco. And I just think they're going to squeak out a field goal win against the Bucks in a close, low scoring game. I like Green Bay as well.
Yeah, I'm going to shock you with this one. I'm going to take the Packers too because like Tom Brady without Mike Evans and like he has no receivers at all. Like he's going to be very frustrated. They're going to try to run a whole lot with Fournette, which could work because we saw Montgomery have a lot of success against Green Bay's defense last week. So you're going to have 2 teams trying to run the ball a lot, and both will probably have success. both quarterbacks can win without receivers, but I just have a feeling Green Bay might sneak this one out. I just because not having Mike Evans is a big deal. Like I mean, I don't even know who Brady's going to throw to, and I think Rodgers might figure out something with his running backs. He can throw the ball to them. He can give them the ball in short passing situations. Tampa Bay's defense has been really good. It's a really tough game to take, but I'm actually going to take Green Bay in this one. I just have a feeling they're going to beat Tampa Bay this time, although Tampa's owned them the last couple of years. This is a different kind of game. So I'm going to take Green Bay in a close one, but I don't know. It could go either way. Anthony has Tampa Bay. He said that he's tired of going against Brady. He's not doing it anymore. His comments, guys. So. And now we go to Monday night. Cooper Rush against Daniel Jones. Is this the worst quarterback matchup you can think of in NFL history? I think it's pretty close. What do you guys think? Pretty close? I don't think it gets any worse than that, no?
Well, at least they're not 0-2 like the Raiders in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, Giants are 2-0. Dallas is 1-1. Not bad. I expect this to be one of the lowest scoring games you'll ever see in the NFL, along with Houston and Chicago. So if you'd like over-unders, you got a couple unders right there. This will be low scoring. I don't know who I'm picking yet, so I'm going to go to Gil. Go ahead, Gil. I don't know who I'm picking in this game. I seriously don't know.
You're gonna go opposite of us, or
No, I have something written down. I'm not going to go opposite. I have a team written down.
Dallas impressed me last week. Cooper Rush did his thing. The thing that surprised me about Dallas, it wasn't Ezekiel Elliott, the man. It was actually Pollard.
Yeah, they should use him more.
That ran that game. Elliott got his touches, but the guy that was actually being successful was Pollard.
Tell Jose to drop Elliott for Pollard. Might do him some good.
Well, you might have to.
Yeah.
Now the other way, Daniel Jones doesn't look great, but Barkley sure does.
Yeah.
Tough game. I wanna take Cooper Rush because I'm rooting for him. But man, the Giants have been impressive too. But I really hate the Giants. You know what? I'm going with the Cowboys.
It's okay, Jose.
Tough thing to pick. The only thing that will keep Dallas in the game is their defense. I think Micah Parsons is in the running for Defensive Player of the Year this year. I think he's a beast.
He's the favorite. Yeah.
I don't like the Giants either, man, but it's like a toss-up game. Where's the game? Is it in New York or is it in Dallas?
In New York. In New York.
Since we've been to MetLife Stadium, I'm gonna take the Giants.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I hate Daniel Jones so much that I'm gonna take Cooper Rush over him. I got Dallas. Their defense is really good. They showed last week against Cincinnati that they can play really good defense and keep the game close and low scoring to allow a Cooper Rush to win a football game, even though he's an average quarterback. And I'm looking at the Giants. I don't see Jamar Chase. I don't see Mixon. I don't see T. Higgins. I don't see Boyd. I don't see Hurst. And I don't see Money McPherson either. So if they can hold Cincinnati to 17 points, they can hold the Giants. So I got Dallas in this one. I'm going to take Dallas. So that's our no spread picks. Now we go to our best spread picks of the week. My pick is Baltimore -3 at New England. Jose?
Cincinnati -5.5.
Cincinnati -5.5. And Gil?
Mine is also Baltimore -3 in New England.
There you go. And do we have a survivor pick for the week?
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati for Jose. And Gil?
I'm going with Baltimore.
Baltimore. Okay. And I'm going to take, wow. Who am I going to take? Wow, you know what? I think I'm going to take the Chargers. Yeah, take the Chargers. I got to remember, of course, you can't take the same team. I haven't taken the Chargers yet, so that's good. Now, We're debuting a segment today because, we talk a lot during the week and there's a lot of things that bother us while we're watching the games. So I'm going to go to Jose first. What's bothering you about the NFL right
Too many stupid, dumb coaches
Yeah.
making dumb mistakes. These young offensive coordinators think it's that easy to become a head coach. And you can see from the Denver Broncos, you can see it from freaking all these young rookie coaches. They're making all dumb
now?
mistakes.
McDaniels and
Yeah, McDaniels and stuff like that. So I think it's good. The young coaches. Also, that's bothering me is, well, that bothered me was losing our quarterback too, which
Yeah.
is a big loss.
that's a tough one.
But besides that, and the 49ers getting so many injuries in running backs, like they must go through like all the running backs in the practice squad every single year. It's like everyone after
It's the
other,
field,
like,
Jose. It's the goddamn field in San Francisco, man. Like every running back gets hurt there. Like they got to do something about that field, man.
I don't know. So that's my rant.
Gil, what's bothering you?
Bothering me was the last 2 weeks was everything. All these weird comeback games.
Yeah,
Watching the Jets win games with a minute left, scoring 2 touchdowns. Watching the game 1 minute into the 1 o'clock games, my parlay's already done. That's what bothers me.
well, I got something worse than that. I had a parlay last week where I had the New Orleans under and I had the Bears under. Both those came in. You want to know what my other two games were? I think these guys know. Baltimore -3.5 and Vegas -5.5. Let me give you guys a guess in case you didn't watch what scores were in those games going to the fourth quarter. One was 35-14 Baltimore, and the other one was 20-0 Raiders. Both teams lost outright. So blown leads at home is bothering me about the NFL right now. Something that bothers me as well, and this is for you, Mr. Malfair. Don't ever again say Kirk Cousins is an MVP candidate. Ever again, because I'm going to call your ass out on it. Did you see him on Monday? 3 picks in the red zone. Could not have looked any worse. Don't tell me about Kirk Cousins being MVP ever again. And your Titans. Your coach that you're so happy about? He better watch himself. Because he benched the Tannehill last week, and he doesn't like Willis. So you got to have a quarterback in there where you got to run the ball with Henry properly. Because this is terrible. Okay? Other than that, I'm a little calmer now. I will say this. Tony Barbosa, I love you, man. You do the wrestling show with me and everything. I tried to tell you. Matt Ryan's an older Carson Wentz. He's even worse than Carson Wentz right now. 4 picks and 5 fumbles. I don't care if you have no receivers. I don't see Tom Brady doing that. I don't see Aaron Rodgers doing that. And they got nobody. Ask Gil, does Green Bay have any receivers? I don't think so. No. Tom Brady, you know who he threw the ball to win last week? Some guy named Perryman for the winning touchdown. So I don't want to hear about no receivers. Matt Ryan's terrible. Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor. And I agree with Jose. Coaching, I like brutal. Like, guys, the Nathaniel Hackett, like Gil, you could go there and coach better than that guy. Like, he last week. Remember when he went for a 64-yard field goal instead of going for it? This week, he decides after they get a 5-yard penalty that he's not going to go for a 59-yard and punts the ball. Like, they're lucky to beat Houston with how bad they played. Russell Wilson looks all out of sorts. The running game can't get going. Denver's a much better team than that, but we'll see. And the other thing that makes me very sad, and I'll end with this: Trey Lance getting hurt. I was in tears. I was getting the gills from everybody. But what makes me so mad is watching Jimmy G come on the field smiling and laughing. I got news for you guys. I know what I got in Jimmy G, and I know what the team's going to be with Jimmy G. Okay? They're just going to disappoint you. But I'll watch and I'll cheer for him and I'll be okay with it. And I'll say, okay, Jimmy G, you go show me what you can do. But that kid, Trey Lance, I feel so bad for him. And I had Lino sending me pictures of him dancing before the game. So they were calling him Dance Mania instead of Lance Mania. And now he can't dance because he's got a broken ankle. He'll be back. He'll be okay. I wish him well. But I'm sick to my stomach. I got to watch Jimmy G the rest of the year. So that bothers me as well. So that's my rant for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully, Tony Barbosa can get a win next week. Hopefully, the 49ers can move Jimmy G. And hopefully, Gil gets a win over the GOAT. We got some great games this week. But we'll see what happens. Jose has a lead like he had last year. I'd like to remind people that Jose had a 12-game lead last year and blew it. So let's not get too excited about Jose being ahead right now. We'll see if we can catch up to him. We got a lot of different picks this week. But that's our show for this week. I'd like to thank Gil and Jose for coming on as always. Thank my special guest, Tony Barbosa, for appearing with his Colts hat bravely, talking about his team. That was fun. And if the Titans lose again next week, I'm going to find Anthony Malfera in his house somewhere, and I'm going to get his ass on here to talk about his stupid team. Because I'm getting sick and tired of Derrick Henry sucking. I picked him 3rd overall on my fantasy team, and he sucks. He's costing me games every week. So, Anthony, your team better win. Because if they don't, I'm going to bring you on here to talk about Kirk Cousins and your team. And it's not going to be pretty. Because I'm going to let Gil and Jose go off on your ass. But until next week, that's our rant for this week. For the Mouth of North, Andrew Reese, for Gil Bay Santos, and for my favorite guest who comes on the wrestling show with me, who's always here, and because of his name, Jose Carlos Gomez, JCG, in case you're wondering. I will see you next week on the Reese Report.